Hello, Al pals. This is Big Al. Welcome to Big Al Presents, a Big Al retro review, where I take a look at a classic old film that I dearly love and see if I can, if you haven't already, convince you to watch it. This time, the film is Quatermass and the Pit from Hammer Films, released in 1967, better known in America as 5 million years to Earth, though I will be using the original title, Quatermass and the Pit, for this review. Of course, there may be a spoiler or two, but nothing too important. I want to leave enough for you to want to watch the film. Now, my official retro review. While working on an extension to the London Underground, workers discover a strange skull believed to belong to a 5 million-year-old ape man. Further archaeological investigations uncover more remains and a strange craft, with the military declaring the craft nothing but an old Nazi propaganda weapon. Mysterious occurrences soon lead Professor Bernard Quatermass to believe it has come from Mars. The head of the British Experimental Rocket Group and protector of mankind from alien forces, Professor Bernard Quatermass was initially introduced in two BBC television serials, The Quatermass Experiment in 1953 and Quatermass 2 in 1955. Both were written by Nigel Kneale and adapted for the big screen by Hammer Films. When the BBC presented the third serial from Kneale, Quatermass and the Pit, in 1958, Hammer again decided to bring the fictional British scientist to screens, though it did take a few more years. Quatermass and the Pit is a compelling and intelligently written thriller, cleverly integrating elements of the scientific with the supernatural to weave a gripping story. Quatermass is portrayed by Andrew Keir, who, though far from the typical action star, has a believable air of intelligence and would seem comfortable in front of a blackboard filled with complex scientific equations. Julian Glover, familiar to many as General Veers in The Empire Strikes Back and Walter Donovan in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, is great as the stubbornly proud Colonel Breen, who feels all this alien talk is nonsense. James Donald and Barbara Shelley and Duncan Lamont also deserve kudos for their performances. While many of the special effects, especially those regarding the aliens, may be considered hokey by today's standards, there is a certain appeal to them. Sound effects are also prominently featured and very effective at keeping the audiences unnerved. The character of Quatermass and his adventures are not as well known as perhaps they should be, but its influences can be seen in franchises like Doctor Who and The X-Files. Quatermass in the Pit is a smart and entertaining film deserving a place in your collection of classic science fiction. Fans of both sci-fi and horror will find something to appreciate. Well, that's my official retro review for Quatermass and the Pit. It is a wonderful old British film. Like I said, a bit hokey in some of the special effects areas, considering these are the people who also bought us Doctor Who. While this particular film did come after the inception of Doctor Who, Quatermass, the character, preceded Doctor Who by a good 10 years. And he is kind of an underappreciated, underused character in science fiction. I think it would be interesting to see more adventures. There has been talk of some other adaptations, but an interesting character and a wonderful film. Like I said, it may, if you see the title Quatermass in the Pit, it is actually very descriptive, but it's not exactly going to tweak your interest in order to see the film, which is why I can see the American release company changing the name to 5 Million Years to Earth. But I always prefer the original title that was used in its inception. A great sci-fi film. I really hope you give this one a chance if you like classic sci-fi films from 50s and 60s. This is definitely something to check out. If you've never seen it or heard of it, I highly suggest it to you. And with that, I would like to say I really hope you enjoyed this review and a bit of a ramble on the film Quatermass and the Pit. I hope that you, of course, join me for the future things that I do here on Big Al Presents. More reviews, rewatches, and rambles will, of course, follow in the weeks and months to come. I hope if you haven't already subscribed that you please do so. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with those who like classic sci-fi, who, you never know, may find this something that is very appealing to them. I really hope, though, that whatever you choose to watch tonight, even if it isn't Quatermass in the Pit or 5 Million Years to Earth, whichever title you prefer, I just hope you find something that you really like. And as always, I hope everyone takes care. Goodbye.